Taking you away to a magical, mystical world there, of course, with the lovely fairy hugs and just a little sample of what you could be creating with our brand new one-day special launch. Lovely to have your company. I'm Scott. I'll be with you for the next hour with always our very own little cute fairy herself. It's Julia, everybody. Oh, we like it. That's it. Milk that, Julia. Milk that. Get the most out of that one.
Hi, everybody.
Oh, a very good evening.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Are you, well, I think you are, from our meeting earlier on, excited again about what we have. You absolutely you love working with our fairy hugs.
I love working with fairy hugs, absolutely. And we've got 24 new stamp sets today, and they are brand spanking new.
And not only that, right now, this is the only place you can get hold of these.
That's right.
We like that. Now, there's also another thing about these is you've got to get them when you see them on the show, basically, haven't you? Because things happen. You don't see them again after.
No. Fairy hugs normally have a new release once a month, and that's when we come and do your one-day special. Occasionally, there's just a couple of hours, and we rarely actually bring any back. There are a few at the end of the show that we're bringing back to you, some of the favourites. But yeah, once the shows are over, not only will the price of the one-day special go up, but the stock will disappear off the website because they pack them on Tuesday morning. So
right, and that's it.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah.
And for fairy hugs themselves, where they actually come from?
They're based in Miami Beach in Florida.
Very nice part of the world.
I'm hankering after an invite.
Are you waiting for that one?
I am waiting for it.
Well, be careful out there because it is very hot out there. So you can. I know there's more. There's more to come. I know it's like working with Basil Brush, isn't it? Maybe not quite the same hair. But honestly, and you know what? Now I'm not allowed to say, but there are some in here that I looked at and I thought, that's genius. I absolutely love the imagination behind a lot of these
So we're
stamps.
very book orientated with this release. So, I mean, I know there are so many people out there who love books. I love books. When my children were little, from when they could sit on our knee, we'd be reading books to them, and they still love books now. So I think definitely as a nation, we absolutely love books, and I've never seen any stamps like some of the stamps that are within this collection.
No.
They're so imaginative and so unique, and there's just something for everybody. I mean, yes, we've got dragons and fairies, but we've got fairies reading books.
Well, exactly,
you know?
we have. It's the best combo.
Yeah.
Now we think that the fairy looks like a little Bernie, basically, our floor manager.
Yeah,
and so what we tried to see is, I don't know what the challenge was to see how many positions we could actually put our little fairy in.
Well, we reckon Bernie is the little fairy called Lorella.
Yes.
Who's she's not
that one.
That one.
There she is.
That's Lorella.
We think it's uncanny.
Because she looks about 5.
Yes, basically.
Bernie's a youngster.
But absolutely, and the great thing is how many different places we can find a little fairy, which is great.
Yeah.
So do get in early on these. I know it's going to be very, very busy. And the dispatch is the 8th of November. Where's the time going? 8th of November for dispatch for you. I will tell you the lovely thing about these is look down the whole counter. You can shop ahead, of course, on the website, but have a look, because what you're going to notice is you'll start thinking from your crafter's brain point of view, do you know what? That would really go with that I've just seen in that set. And that's one thing that you're going to love about the demonstrations from Julia, because from a producer's point of view, it's quite hard to follow, because you go, which set's that from? Where's that? Because they all work
together
beautifully together.
Yes.
So please bear that in mind when you're looking at all the different sets. Let's start off with our one-day special, the first bundle that you can see here, and this is absolutely gorgeous. This is our Fairy Hugs, the Fairy Library stamp collection. You're getting 5 stamps in here. You focus an image to direct it straight away on the one that caught my eye in this one. That beautiful house built literally from books. How gorgeous.
On a pile of books, yeah. So you can see the little step ladders that are going up there so you can reach the actual house itself. You've got bookmarks there coming out, so you know you don't lose your place. And then there is within this bundle as well, you've got the path of knowledge.
The path of knowledge.
Yeah, and that will lead you up to the bottom layer of the books.
Which I think is gorgeous, these. And you'll notice again, your other stamps sort of fit in with these.
Yes, so you've got your foliage, so that's your dandelion grass. Then you've also got here as well, you've got a little Kira, and she's lying down reading a book because she goes perfectly in the fairy hammock, which could be in the garden of the fairy library.
I love that.
Everything kind of fits together.
It does. I could get in that hammock. Well, I'm not saying I could fit in it, like size-wise, but I could just get myself in one of those for comfort.
Wouldn't it be lovely?
They are lovely. Let me show you some finished samples here, which give you the idea from using the fairy library, but also the path of knowledge, for example. You've also got the dandelion grass, for example, in here.
And you've got the hammock as well there.
It's the whole shebang.
Yeah,
but how restful does that look?
Yeah.
How beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely fabulous.
I
think
love
that's
this.
one of Bonnie's.
I love that.
Yeah, it's fabulous, isn't it? Do you know, when I first saw that, I didn't read the title of it, and so I had it going kind of up into the air and the fairy sitting on the top. But it's magical, so you can do whatever you want.
Well, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely, you could do. It works really nice, of course, on their own. So there's the hammock on its own that would work with all the little fairies all the way around.
Yeah, so we do have the condo dwellers on the show, so do have a look on the website for those.
And a little idea again, because a lovely thing about these is they're great, they're sort of magical things, but that just in the black, for example, with all your colours in the background, it is stunning, isn't it? £5 saving, of course, on your one-day special here, so it's £26.95. 546727. I will tell you, already busy for these. 10% already actually allocated. Don't forget, only place you can get hold of this collection right now is here with us on the craft stores. So make the most, be the first amongst those. Now, again, moving on to our second set, and again, you're going to be seeing how they're going to work really nicely. We've gone for the path of knowledge. So now we've had the book house there. We're now the unopened book.
Yes.
That we've got for you here with the collection. 3 stamps in this particular collection. There's a little floor manager.
There's Bernie.
There she is.
She's not Bernie, she's called Lorella, but we're going to cross that out and put Bernie.
Yeah. But beautiful detail on the wings.
She's lovely. I mean, she looks like, look at her little skirt that she's got on. She looks to me like she's really intently listening to somebody who's reading her a story.
Yeah.
This is your fairy liana, which is like vines, which can be, your foliage. So you can use those with all of your makes. And then you've got the open book, which is it's propped open with a branch. So you can have Lorella sitting in the book, or Bernie sitting in the book, propped on the side. You can actually turn the book over and have Bernie sitting on the branch as well.
Oh, that's,
so there's lots of things that you can do, but you can use it with some of the other stamps as well. You can put Olivia in there, and you can actually have Magoo kind of holding the pages open. So there's lots of things
I love that, yeah. It's really nice. Some examples here of that, but again, with the vines, the vines are great, actually.
They are,
and the one they're going to work with really nicely. My mind was immediately taken with the actual open book, but then when you start to see some of the finished samples that's working with the vines, for example, then you really get an understanding. Look at that there. Look at that. Love that. Do you reckon would the hammock work from within the vines? If you could hang the hammock within the whole of the vines in there, create a little
bit of masking as well. Yeah, absolutely. Have a go. Give it a go. We'll see if we can do it.
We're liking that idea. Absolutely beautiful. There she is.
There's
on the little log,
sitting on the branch. On the branch.
This is coming up a bit later on, but gives an understanding again how you can mix and match.
Yes.
This is coming up. It is coming up.
Yes.
And love it. A little dragon there as well, which...
That's apparently me.
Well, no, listen. No, you said that. I didn't say that. You know what I mean? But
Bernie said it.
Yeah. Our lovely little fairy, butter wouldn't melt, come up with that. Absolutely. 034 463 2099 for those, for the open book. We're such a hoot, because we got the owl and books.
See what you did there?
Well, looking from the gallery. $25.99 for 5 more stamps here again that you can add into your collection. And this is the collection that's going to grow and grow. Absolutely perfect.
He's wonderful, isn't he, Hoot?
Gorgeous.
Absolutely wonderful. An owl with specs on. It's just perfect, isn't it? Because he's been doing so much reading, he's damaged his eyesight.
Well, that's right. That's why I've got glasses as well. And you. We're well read.
Yeah, we are.
Very well read.
So you've got, within this bundle, you've got Hoots the Owl, you've got your cherry blossom branch, you've also got your book flowers, which I've never seen anything like that before.
No, they are phenomenal.
It's tremendous, isn't it? Then you've also got your stack of books as well, your stacked books, and that's great for, again, Hoots can stand on top of that if you want him to. You can sit Olivia on the top of the books. You can also put, there's another fairy that I've forgotten the name of that you can stick on the top of the books as well. So you'll have lots of fun mixing and matching with the others. And of course, foliage is always useful, whatever foliage it might be.
Let me just show you a couple more then with with our little fairies dancing across the little books that you can see here. Which
these are existing fairies from the existing collection. That's Pixie, Trixie and Dixie. But you know, look how perfectly they sit with the open book. So that's the thing with Fairy Hugs. Not only does the entire new collection really mix and match within itself, you can also use it with other Fairy Hugs collections that stamps that you've got in your collection.
There we go.
So that there's the Happy Planner kind of bookmark there, and great. I mean, all of these are great for your bookmarks. So think about your craft fairs that are coming up for Christmas and your gifts, because of course you can make to sell. So if you actually make a finished product, you make a bookmark, or you make some cards, or you make some Happy Planner inserts, you can actually sell those, you know, as long as you've handmade them, that's fine.
That's really good, actually, really good. 25.99 263 093. Now then, we have got for you the dictionaries now, isn't it, that we've got?
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
Let's have a little look at some of these.
So interesting.
This is a great stamp, this one, isn't it?
Yeah, so it's almost 6 inches tall, this particular background stamp or border. But as you can see, as you scan down there, you've got the proper dictionary definitions of all those words which are pertaining to some of the items that we've got within the stamps, and they are proper, so you can actually read them, and it's really interesting.
They are legit. They are absolutely. We like it. That so great. So you got the fairy ring in there as well. Fairyland. We've got fairy tale. We've got the magic as well, which is the relating to magic, having seen supernatural qualities or powers. You see, so it's all there. They are genuine descriptions of those words that you work with. That's just one of the stamps you're going to get within this collection. That's a beautiful. It was gorgeous.
That's your dogwood blossom. Yeah. So obviously you can stamp that in just one colour, or you can actually do the kind of petals a different colour to the leaves if you want to.
Yeah.
And again, baby Bernie fairy can sit on the top.
There she is.
No, that's a different one.
Oh no, that's not. No,
that's not Bernie.
That's an imitation.
That's a teenage Bernie.
Yeah. No, they are stunning. Let me just show you one I've got here. The stamps out of that beautiful, the dogwood blossom. That is stunning, really beautiful. That using that script behind that you can see there.
It's a great background.
It's brilliant, isn't it?
Yeah.
Really good. That 486029. That's £29.99. We've still got just a few more. Wow, I tell you what. Yes. Now. Now, when I say the snail library, just conjure up how that is going to look. It's not a slow reader, but it's definitely. I love this. This could happen in any magical kingdom, couldn't it?
Of course it could. And we must stress that the books are dry. They are readable. They're not covered in slime. But I mean, this is Catherine's favourite, Catherine Sturrock's favourite, because she loves the snails.
Oh, it's brilliant, this.
It's so unusual, isn't it?
It is. I love it.
You've got toadstools on the top. Why? But you have. They're like chimney pots.
They are. Do you know, like in some of the remote villages out there, of course, you get the travelling library, the mobile library that comes out. This is that a Fairyland equivalent, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. Absolutely.
You do still get charged for any late returns. It's one of them. But there's no rush, as you can see by the driver. They are lovely, though, gorgeous. You're not just getting those, but although it stamps out. Fantastic. You've still got a lot more again with your foliage that you can be working with.
You've got the willow vines. The willow vine's going to be a go-to. You're going to use that absolutely loads. You've also got the lily blooms. So you've got a bloom and a bud. And then you've got those butterflies. So that's like, it's called the kaleidoscope of butterflies, isn't it? So I think they work really well coming out of the chimney of the fairy library.
I like them. $25.99. Just got one there as well with our little, just what you were looking at there with the butterflies, as well as, of course, our little library, snail library. 327371, £25.99. But again, I mean, if these stamps don't allow your imagination to blossom, I don't know what collection will. These are certainly lovely. 327371. Right, finally, I'm going to show you one more collection here to bring to you. And now it's already busy here. And I just think, when you mentioned the Tree of Knowledge, why did we not think of this image in the first place when you think of the Tree of Knowledge? This, I think, is absolutely brilliant. Imagine a whole forest of these, literally. I mean, this is gorgeous, isn't it?
It's
Look at
inspired, isn't it? Yeah, and it's such a, you know, if you stamp it out and then you just add a little bit of colour to it, it really kind of pops.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, you can have the fairies kind of leaning up against the trunk while they're reading, which is you know, an image that's kind of quite commonly seen with a certain reader that you can get out there. But yeah, just absolutely beautiful image. It's going to be a go-to. Great for your tags, go for your bookmarks, your journal pages, absolutely everything. Yeah, really, really love this one. We're already approaching 20% of the stock, and we've only just shown you this one. $28.99, 4 stamps in total. You can find magic wherever you look. Sit back and relax. All you need is a book. That is really lovely. And, of course, we've got a gorgeous dragon, which is magical. That's Magoo. Which is the Magoo dragon. I like Magoo. And great names as well. Yeah, and then you've got Olivia. Now, the names of the fairies and the dragons and all the creatures from Fairy Hugs are, they come from the children of the owner of Fairy Hugs. Yeah, there's 3 children, and they put all these names of what they want to use in a little hat, and then they draw them out when they've got new images, and the images get named. I like that. Yeah. There we go, Magoo. $28.99, 512762 is your item code to go for those. As you've seen already, you'll notice some of the samples I'm showing actually have all got a little bit of something else in there mixed in, because they work seamlessly. The website, of course, you'll find all the collections. Have a good look. See, have a look through and see what you want to work with and what's going to complement the other ones. If you can go, I would suggest with these, as we've heard, you know, these things are going to work time and time again with these, and also with more to come, I'm sure, in the future, which is really nice to know that, you know, none of these are ever going to date. You're going to always have something in here that you can rely upon. We've also got the Fairy Hugs, which is the Kondo stamp collection. That gives you 8 stamps. Again, look at that theme, working with that beautiful mushroom in there, and lovely sentiments and beautiful font to work with that as well, which is absolutely gorgeous. Always believe something wonderful is about to happen. It's there at $15.99. Just again, one more of the collections that you can get from the brilliant Fairy Hugs. All top quality, as you'd expect to find as well, regarding all of the stamps. But I think time to unleash the magic when you start stamping with these. Right then, I think this is where then our producer has to watch carefully, and because we always like to find out, you know, what is the guest going to be sort of working with? And whenever you get Judy with these, she goes, I don't know really. We'll just sort of see. We'll see what happens, which is the lovely. That's the enjoyable part of these stamps, isn't it? Yeah. I mean, even if I'd have told you what I'd planned on using, I changed my mind when I got back in here anyway.
It was fair enough.
But the thing was, I looked at it and I thought, hang on a minute, we've got a one-day special here, and I need to use some of those. So I've changed my mind completely. Again.
It's all right. It's your prerogative. You're allowed to.
Yeah. The thing is, we got so many new stamps, and although I checked what was in the one-day special, I totally ignored it, as you do. So I think we're just going to do a tag to begin with. I am quite keen of starting quite simple, so that it's not scary, because I think sometimes when you presented with certainly this many stamps, it can be a little bit scary, and some of the samples are so beautiful, and you think, I can't possibly do that. And I was the same, actually, as well. But the more you use them, the more you get to realise it doesn't really matter, and you just go for it.
Oh, that's good. Just so you know as well, we're getting lots of emails coming through from people saying, yippee, I love Fairy Hugs as well. Yeah. Fairy Hugs have a huge following, don't they?
They do, absolutely. Yeah.
Which is lovely. Yeah, thank you for your emails in advance. Thank you.
Yeah, I was at Phil Martin's opening of his new shop in Sheffield yesterday, and people were asking me about Fairy Hugs.
Oh, really? Oh, that sounds like a nice day.
Actually, I'm supposed to be here doing Phil's stuff, but you can talk to me about Fairy Hugs, that's fine. So, I've got a tag here, and I've got one of my inky backgrounds. I did demonstrate how to do this in my Facebook Live today and at Phil's shop yesterday, so hopefully that's accessible to you. And this is the classic tag from Studio Light that we've had on the channel as well. So first of all, we're going to use the dictionary, and we're just going to do a little bit of a background. So I don't make a mess, I'm going to just use a piece of white paper.
Now I'm just trying to think which collection that one's from. Oh, that's there is a dictionary one. There's the details on there.
Don't ask me.
486029.
I have no idea. So because we do want it to be a background, I'm going to use a light grey in the background. Now I am using archival. I've got this thing where if I use VersaFine Clair and then put other VersaFine Clairs on top, sometimes the ink bleeds into one another and it drives me nuts. But with archival, it dries really quickly. So I'm just going to test this out onto my piece of card just to make sure that my ink is nice and inky. And it will stain your stamp, but don't worry about that. And that's fine. You know, I've got some lighter gaps, but that's fine. This is a background, absolutely fine.
Right.
And I'll show you what you can do with that, actually. I did a very quick demo on my Facebook Live and thought, hang on a minute, I should have done that on card, not on paper, because it looks good. And this is the thing, as you're using them, you kind of get inspired to do other things with them.
Yeah.
Which is great, absolutely great. So this is Shadow Grey Archival. So we are going to do a full background, I think. So let's go right the way up to the top. Give it a good old press. And that's the start.
See, I do
it.
find anything that has any kind of script in, anything like that, you do find yourself just reading to see how much you can read, see if it is real, see if someone's trying to pull the wool over your eyes, and you can really get an interest. Certainly things like this, when you're getting for real meanings of those words.
Yeah, the problem is, of course, then when you kind of stamp it all wonkily, it doesn't look right. But you can, of course, do it in your hand and just do sections of it. You don't have to do the whole thing.
Yeah.
It is lovely to have the whole thing as a background, to be honest. Script stamps are so useful. You will use them again and again and again and again. Let's just we drop this down a bit, and we'll start at the bottom for this section, so that it's offset and it's not just a continuation of the same area.
Right.
I think I was a little bit skew-if, which is always me. I am very skew-if. Short and skew-if. And obviously a dragon as well, apparently. She's not listening.
But
it's fine. It's fine. Bernie's a little fairy. Right, there we go. There's our background, all done, all sorted. So now we're going to go into our stamping platform, and we're going to pick up our VersaFine Clairs. Oh, there's my journal gone over. I do tend to put a lot of them in journals. I made quite a few tags this time though, because obviously then they could be bookmarks, which is just perfect.
Yeah.
Let's go in here.
Yeah, I'd like the whole idea of it being about books, connecting to that. We know fairy tales, stories, first books when you read to your children, etc. Their first book when they're practicing their reading, etc.
Every morning, Spot goes into the garden.
Oh, yes.
I knew that book off by heart.
Oh.
Off by heart.
There are certain books that stay with. Actually, I tell you what. Can you remember your first book? What was the first book that you sort of read and you thought, oh yeah, that's going to get me to read another one straight away?
I think it was probably 101 Dalmatians.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Lovely. Oh yeah. Also, the producer Emma just said, going on a bear hunt.
Oh, that's a good one.
We're not scared for the children and all that. That's amazing. Wizard of Oz is a cracking book.
The ones I remember the most are the ones that I read to my children. So there was like the Gruffalo, and the one that says "I love you to the moon and back."
Oh yes, yeah. That's the little rabbit, is it? Little hare.
Yeah. So actually, on topic, we're reading. We're stamping the Fairy Library here from the one-day special.
I tell you also, if you've got your favourite book that you remember reading to your children,
let us know.
Let us know as well. The whole idea of stories and books and bedtime story time. Let us know what's the favourite book that stuck with you or your child that was always asking you to read. studio@thecraftstore.com. Let's have all those. That'd be lovely. What was that, our producer? What was Biff, Chip and Kipper. Oh, from school.
Oh, from school, yeah.
Yes, that's right. Was that a magic key or something? A magic key, and
I don't remember that much, but yeah, I do.
Magic key. That's right. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I'm on the second series of those now. I'm doing well.
So we're stamping the library in our Versfine Claire, giving it a good old press. And I'm hoping that I get a good impression. If not, I'll just go again. Yeah, I've missed a bit there. Look.
This is again the lovely thing on these larger stamps that you get with Fairy Hugs. Nothing's missed. They don't just sort of do. Okay, so this is going to be the doorway, etc. It's the detail that goes behind that. So it's the texture to the actual house.
Yeah, you've got the little tiny flowers here. You've got the detail up on around the window frame there, and the scrolled edges.
Yes.
You've got the brickwork in there.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, it is. It's absolutely stunning, isn't it? They do a cracking job. They just go from strength to strength, and we're up to 325 stamps now with Fairy Hugs.
Is that what it is now?
And it's let's see. They started in September last year, so we're coming up to 14 months old. That's all. So that's quite prolific, really, isn't it?
In that time.
Yeah,
it really is.
So now we're going to have, because I like to do this. We're only using 3, maybe 4 stamps on this tag, so it's not too intensive. We're going to have, because I like to do this, we're going to have our butterflies coming out of the chimney.
Now the Snail Library stamp collection is where you'll find our butterflies trailing off like that. $25.99, 327-371. Details for that on the side of your screen. Do you ever read the Hungry Caterpillar? When you turn the page and there's a hole in every page, and
no,
it goes,
I've not read that one.
Oh, I tell you what, you try reading that, we're not being hungry by the end of it. I was starving. I had 10 apples, a bit of cake, 4 salami sausages. Oh, it's brilliant.
So this is one of the sentiments. This is between the pages of a book is a lovely place to be.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah. So I can just see whether I think that's straightish. So we'll stamp those.
Are you still a kind of classic, like a good proper book that you could turn a page, or how are with these newfangled things that you can have it on a screen?
I always said that I would never have one of those e-readers, but
you have, haven't you?
about 6 or 7 years ago, maybe longer now, maybe about 8 years ago, I went to Crete with my daughter for a holiday, and rather than take a lot of books, which would have been heavy, because I think we went for 10 days. I got one of those readers so that I could have a lot of books.
I think that's allowed for a holiday.
But I do actually at night. I take my glasses off, turn the light off, and put it on big print so that I can read it until I'm falling asleep. Then I put it under my pillow. Oh. So yeah, so I do use that. Yeah.
I feel I'm getting to know you quite well now with regards to those details. But, Helen has been... Hello, good evening, Helen.
What does Helen
Peace
say?
at Last. Her children used to like a book known as Peace at Last.
I don't know that one.
I did loads of noises that went along with it. Now, I'm a little fairy as well. Now, do you know that one as well? Yeah. Do you? Yeah. Is it good?
It's really good. It used to put me to sleep.
It sends you to sleep?
Yeah.
Oh, a bit like my presenting, everybody. So there you go. No, that sounds a good recommendation. In fact, keep your recommendations coming in as well.
Yeah, Scott's going to use them, aren't you?
I feel like Richard and Judy doing a book club right now. This is great, all in one.
It's lovely, isn't it? So we're just going to finish this off with a little bit of foliage at the top, I think. So we're going to use the willow vines. And I think we'll use a little bit of charming pink, because we've got a little bit of pink here.
That's part of the same stamp collection as the Snell Library. That's the details are on the screen for you. So our producer thanks you for that.
Ah, it won't happen again, Emily. So we're just going to have it so that it's cascading down here.
That's a really nice stamp, isn't it? They're really nice leaves on those.
They're worker stamps, these sort of stamps. You can never have too many foliage stamps. We've got the flower vines back in stock as well, so that's on the show, so look out for that. And then we're going to take the smaller one, which is slightly different, and we're going to do that one in summertime, which is the orange, which is obviously going to work nicely with that as well. Now, hopefully you'll be able to see it. It's a little bit light, but you can. It's still.
No, we can see that now.
You can see it, yeah. Unfortunately, they only do. I think there's only one orange in Versifying Clay. We could do with the darker one.
They feel like quite a tropical leaf.
Yeah.
Certainly in those colours as well, probably.
Yeah, I mean, you could bring in like other leaves as well. So you could also bring in perhaps the lily bloom. See, I'm going completely off-piste now, as you do, or as I do.
Well, that's what happens with fairy hugs.
Yeah, you go off-piste. So we could bring in something like Purple Delight, and we could bring some of these to sit some of these.
And these also from the Snail Library collection.
Oh, get me!
I tell you what, you're back on a Christmas card list now.
I'm on it. I'm on it. Carb on it. So we've got a couple of those up there now. We could actually really make it so that we've got our corners nice and well coordinated, couldn't we? So we could bring in perhaps one down here as well. And
oh yeah, actually, yeah, that's a really good point. Looking at that little tip of it just like that, that looks like it could be fire, like flames.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah. So it's really cool, isn't it? Put that on the right one.
Yeah, not good for a book page.
No, definitely not real flames. So now, if I get my bigger die, because this is the thing about the Studio Light die, is you've got your mats and your layers. So all we need to do now is pop this on. I probably would add a little bit of colour to the library, because some of the stamps are just silhouettes, and that's what you see is really what you stamp. But some of them, they can take colour, but it's entirely up to you, because if you've got a coloured background, then obviously the non-black areas are going to take on the colour of your background anyway. So let's just pop that on there like so, jiggle with it so it gets it straight. Just remember that Versifying Clay stays wet, so you don't want to smudge it. But obviously put a bit of ribbon in there and you've got yourself a bookmark. Ah,
that is brilliant. I love that. Really lovely. Well, yeah, it looks like for that one, the Snell Library stamp is a big one, again, using on top of the actual houses as well. I love that. That is beautiful, Julia. Thank you. You know, you just mentioned about colouring in. I've got one here which will give a nice idea.
Yes,
if I show you this one as well, which is a nice example. You saw one there stamped out for the silhouette, but if you were to colour the actual house, just look at that.
There's a little bit of, I think it's Sakura pen as well, because if you wiggle it, it's gold.
Oh, yes, it is. I didn't realise that.
Isn't that beautiful?
Yeah, that really is lovely. So we have got for you the one-day special. Thank you to Julie for that. We'll get another one prepped for you for more inspiration for you. We have got an update for you. We are now, wow, that's gone quick, approaching half of the stock now of the one-day special has now already been allocated. It does have a £5 saving. Just to reiterate what Julia mentioned at the top of the show, we are looking at dispatch from the 8th, but most importantly, you can't get hold of these stamps as it stands right now anywhere else. This is the chance to get them from us. And, of course, once our one-day special is over, yeah, obviously prices do go up, but these aren't things that are just put out time and time again. They'll be packed up on Tuesday, and then that as a bundle is done and dusted in that respect. Sometimes a few little bits come back in, but if you really want to go for it, this is your opportunity. It's something very special. You are getting 5 stamps, as you're seeing here with Kira in there. We've got the beautiful hammock. I mean, the details and the daintiness of that. That is a magical, magical land to be part of with all of those, with the library stamp collection and that beautiful, gorgeous gorgeous one that's on the top of those mound of books. A real pleasure. 546727 is your item codes that you're looking at there. Brand new on the show today, and the launch of your one-day special, where half the stock has gone from £31.95 to £26.95 as well. Okay, let's quickly whiz down the counter for you. And again, now you've seen them in play and you're starting to see elements come together, it really is the world's your oyster, really. Whichever ones you can go for. The more that you can afford to put in your collection, the bigger that your imagination can become a reality with all the different stamps you'll have at your hand here. These are your gorgeous book stamp collection here. 3 stamps in here. That will give you the open book there with the twig that's brought in together. We have a lovely fairy herself, of course, which is stunning. And then we've got these different twisting vines, which are great for creating your borders and working around. But also, as you heard, those are the kind of stamps that you really can't go without. They're going to work so nicely. 034 463 £20.99. Love that. We've got the owl and books also. And this is honestly a real hoot, this collection, if you want to go for it, because they just work really nicely. The Wise Owl. Do you remember was it Bagpuss? Remember those Bagpuss? Professor Yaffle that was on the top of he was on top. He used to come down a little stairway. If you remember the mechanical owl that came down all the little books, I think little steps he had there. Not the marvellous mechanical mouse organ, not that, but our lovely little owl that could look great on that single open book, on the little book tree. Or you've also got your little stack of books to work on. So love the idea of your wizened owl. Works really nicely here with your Hoots stamp collection. But again, the one with the open books on that, I just think are really, really lovely. These 20% of the Hoots stamp collection has already been allocated here. £25.99. Just the little stack of the books on their own are great, but you can imagine all of those either collectively building up on that or just the one singular. They work so nicely. Again, your worker there with your lovely in the blossom and of course our beautiful owl. 263093, £25.99. Or now we're using the background stamp there of the text, which was the dictionary that had you all the meanings of those magical fairy tale words. That's in here with your meaning of life, which is brilliant on this. I do love these. I think this is just an interesting stamp to be using. And it just sort of sets the scene, doesn't it, with all that idea of fairies and magic and woodlands as well. We've got book binding in there. We've got woodlands. We've got, I'm loving it as well. We've got our beautiful floral. I do love that, actually. That stamp's called the, what's that one called? The Dogwood Blossom, yes, Dogwood Blossom. That's a really pretty floral, that one. And we've got Alina. Again, the details on the wings, really lovely finesse and a gorgeous sentiment as well that we were looking at, which is really lovely. Between the pages of a book is a lovely place to be. 486029 £29.99. 486029. Much better to read a book at night, I think, rather than that blue light on one of those screens, Julie. I'm just,
Definitely.
I don't want to comment on your sleeping habits, but I'm worried for you. But don't put the book under your pillow, especially if it's a real big hardback like a Victor Hugo. Right, crook neck. 327371, and this is what we're working out. Really, a lot of it came from this in our first demonstration. £25.99, because there's 6 fabulous stamps included in our mobile library. There he is, a little snail there with the library collection, a well-read, probably the best read snail in the business. We was also using that lovely trailing foliage that was using those different colours at the top of those. That's a really lovely working stamp to be, to give all that lovely background, a little extra detail that you can see, which is absolutely brilliant. But they're just 2 of them. You do have 6 all the way through these, and again, just great ways of building up those images to give that world that you've got, that magical world. And don't forget our beautiful trailing of butterflies as we saw them leaving the house. Really gorgeous, those. 327371. £25.99. Now, one more, and this is the Tree of Knowledge. really, really popular. You, like me, actually, regarding this one, because when I saw that, I thought, why has that not been done before? 30% of the stock has gone on this. I just think this is brilliant. They say, you know, of course, you need your trees, and most of your books will come from trees with the paper. Literally, here is a tree made of books, which is absolutely great. Trees are green. Lovely lady, and she likes this as well. 512-762, £28.99. You can find magic wherever you look. Sit back and relax. All you need is a book. Like that. Not something that's going to light up and give you migraines. Right, 512-762, £28.99 for all of those. Now, I know that we've spoiled you for choice. There's a huge amount. So I tell you what, just to add to that confusion, let us show you even more finished samples, and then see if you can try and work out from what collection pieces have been used. And it's amazing how many have all been slotted together to create one lovely, lovely image. Have a look at these. Just thinking as you look at these, you know, and you've got something for a little boy, little girl as well. And I think that's a lovely thing about this, isn't it? And it really is magical that you can do. And I think tying it in with that fantasy world and with the books, you know, there's no better way, is it? Because, you know, just the children and their imagination. What is it they, a book that's always converted into film. You always come away going, it's not, the book's better.
Yes,
because it allows your imagination rather than somebody else's vision, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like you see a character and you might see them as blonde, but they've got black hair in the movie, and that's not right.
No, exactly.
Because your imagination says something else, or they're tall and they're short in the movie. You know, that's not right.
No, it's amazing how we get this lovely vision, and that's what books are all about. And I think that if you are working with these stamps, you know, to try and stimulate young person's imagination as well. Do you know what I mean? And
but you make your own storybook as well with these stamps as well.
Yeah.
So not only is it the subject of a book and it's encouraging you to read, but you can make your own stories up as well.
No, I think it's a lovely collection for that. And it's obviously stimulating your imagination with your books. Thank you so much for your emails that are coming through. We're getting a lot coming through with your favourite books, which we'll have a quick discussion about as well in a moment when we get the next demonstration underway first of all, though. But yeah, do keep those coming through. Your favourite book that's really stuck with you, or the book that you've bought for other people and said, you must read this. Yes. It's one of those. Yeah. Right then, let us continue on. We've got about, what we got? 15 minutes left.
Okay,
Julia.
right. Okay.
Where are we next?
So, because I've got loads of demos that we can do, but I think I'm trying to bring in as many stamps as we possibly can, because I'm a little bit worried that we will get through the whole 24 hours and the stock won't last. So we're looking at the Tree of Knowledge, and this is actually the background that I made on my Facebook Live today, and where I've dabbed off the ink with the kitchen roll, I've got kind of marks, and to me that could be like hills, so it's like a win-win situation really. So we're going to pop the Tree of Knowledge, and I'm going to have it so it's hanging off of the page just a little bit. Put that up there so I can try and anchor that because I don't want it to move. So yeah, so we're going to have it off there a little bit because I want to bring in the snail library as well, and I'm going to have the snail library coming in down here like so, because the snail library's got to go to the tree to get some more books to stock his shelves, you see. Of course.
Of course.
Of course. And we want to make sure that we're going to have enough space, because some of the extra sentiments that have been brought back are also quite pertinent to this sort of topic.
Right.
So we've got the believe sentiment. Always believe something wonderful is about to happen, which of course you do when you get absorbed in a book.
That's true.
And there's also
Absolute.
the wisdom one as well that's very good too. So we're going to have that about there. So I think these are where I want them to be. So we'll stamp these. And we just go for black again. I mean, you could, if you wanted to, of course, bring in the fairy dictionary and add to your background, just like we did with the tag.
Yeah, yeah.
You can always use that on absolutely everything. I won't use it on everything, but the temptation is to do so. Lots of tapping. Do make sure you've got a juicy ink pad. I use Versafine Clair. The Nocturne is the black one. Just be careful, because it does stay open for quite a while, or wet for a while, and you might smudge it. Do use a juicy ink pad. Stamping platform I do recommend, with a lot of the silhouette style ones, just to be your friend. They are top quality photopolymer stamp. And as you said rightly, that there's a lot of Fairy Hugs fans out there, and they are collecting, and they wouldn't be collecting if these stamps were not superb quality.
No, absolutely.
They'd buy some and they wouldn't buy any ever again. So I think that kind of indicates, you know, that how good they are.
Yes. No,
and when I'm missing, it's because I'm not pressing on the stamp press properly.
Ah, they're really nice, those.
It's really cool, isn't it?
I like that.
I am going to just add a little bit more black, so I can get the slimy bit of the snail nice and deep in black. So
we've had an email through from Kim. Hello, Kim. Very good evening. Lovely to have your company. Kim works in a library. Works in a library.
Good.
Love that as well. But listens to a lot of audio books.
All right.
But she said it's not the same as just reading a good book. And she said, I can't choose my favourite book. It's too hard. I suppose if you work in a library, you've got quite a lot to choose from.
Yeah.
Really, haven't you? Perk of the job.
I always wanted to work in a library.
Did you?
Yeah. Because I mean, I do absolutely love books. And one of the problems is having enough time to read.
I know.
My daughter actually is quite. There's there's a social media book version of that.
I do know. Yes. I know the one
and
you mean.
she's doing really well on that. So she actually gets sent books to read and review. So she has to do that as well as her job.
Yes.
But she just absolutely adores books.
Yeah.
Which
I
is
have quite
lovely.
a few when I'm driving. I quite a lot, because I spend quite a bit of time in the car.
Yeah, so I can get an audio book would be perfect for that.
Yeah, they're great actually. They are good.
Yeah.
They are good.
So we're starting to get our scene together.
That's coming
here.
up nicely.
Yeah. So obviously, I always colour in a little bit of these sort of images, because it makes them pop a little bit. But obviously, we're all about stamping right now, so we're not going to do that right now. What else am I going to put on there? Oh, I know. Right, so we're going to have always believe something wonderful is about to happen. What we can do also is bring in some of the little fairy condo dwellers. So we can bring in, say, a little one flying up to the snail, maybe there. Ooh. And we can have one perhaps standing on top of a toadstool there, like so. And what we could do also, because you've got little Olivia. Now, she can be sitting there, but if we sit her there, well, she might not be perfect. What we'll do is we will stamp her, and then you can see what it looks like. And then I've got one of her that I've actually stamped and cut out.
Okay.
So just in, and then you can decide how you'd really want it to have. So she can be sat, leaning up against that. She's quite excited because the library's coming. So that means that the library's going to swap some of its books over with what's in the tree. And she's been waiting to read
She doesn't want to pay the fine.
She's been waiting for the next book in the series that she's reading. It's really annoying, isn't it? If you go to the library, you can't get that next book. Well, she'd be all right now because the library's coming.
I tell you what, they should play this out so everybody else just save it. If there's anyone trying to save our library, just play Julia's footage there with the passion that we speak about this. I love this. This
Well,
is
they're
absolutely perfect.
stories, aren't they?
Yeah, no, it's great. I love it. And it's all coming from the stamping.
Yeah, it is, absolutely. They are fun. You will lose yourself in the Fairy Hugs world. Whatever collection you get, you'll lose it because you'll make your own stories up and you'll give the stamps a personality, the fairies a personality. The little snail's got a personality because he's not quick at getting to the tree,
No, he's
is
not.
he?
He's a bit of a slow reader.
It's going to take him 3 weeks to get from there to there.
Yeah, it's very true. It's very true.
Oh, it's so funny, isn't it?
We had another email come through, by the way.
Hello.
Now, who was this one? That's Linda. Good evening, Linda. Thank you so much for getting in touch. Linda says she reads to her children. Is it to
Grandchildren, is it?
when she was younger? When she was younger, she was reading them through. And what was the name of the storybook? Silly the Dinosaur.
Oh, I don't know that one.
I don't know. But he was a very naughty dinosaur.
Oh, I like him already.
Very naughty dinosaur. But apparently, her son knew it absolutely word perfectly.
Yeah.
So whenever she'd like try and cut a bit, which you do sometimes. Okay. But he would correct. He would correct her and say, no, you've missed a bit there as well. Which goes to show that's someone that knows Silly the dinosaur really well.
It's
but
like every day Spot goes into the garden.
Yes.
It's just like that.
But you would read a little bit, a little bit descriptive word that was in there, and you basically had to just get to the point because you thought, got to get to the end of the chapter quite quick because favourite programme starts in a minute, and then be like that. That's not what happens, Daddy. It is now. It's an edited version, but you'll be all right. It's still. Dragon still gets saved.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm doing
Thank you, Linda, by the way.
the fairy liana now, just adding the vines to the top of my card because we've got a big gap there. So obviously with the foliage you can fill in and add some interest in the corner like that.
Oh, by the way, just so you know, it wasn't Silly. It auto-corrected. It's actually Dilly. Dilly the dinosaur.
Oh, Dilly
That's
the
why we never heard of it. I'm glad we said we hadn't heard of it as well.
I haven't heard of the other one either, I'm afraid. But the thing is, you read, because I mean, my children are now 25 and 27, so they're not children anymore. So obviously it depends on how old children are. So because they go in like fashions, don't they?
They do.
And the popular, and obviously you've got books being written all the time. So also we've got, so you can see here, we've lost a little bit of a wing there. So I'm going to bring in my fussy cut version.
Ah, right.
Here, which I've got put nice and safe. Here she is. So she can go on top of there. So you know, it's your choice really whether you bother stamping that or not. But you can see the difference.
Yes, definitely.
Between, you know, that's, to me, I can't use that. I'm not happy with that. If you wanted to, you could just use the wings and just put the wings on. But we are going to stick that on there in a minute.
Yeah, big difference.
Definitely makes a difference, doesn't it? But we're going to add a little bit of foliage down the bottom here. So for that, we're going to bring in either the dandelion grass, which is the new one, or...
Oh, now which one's...
Dandelion grass.
Is that oh, that's for the one day special, isn't it?
Is it?
Yeah, I think so.
Right, okay, we'll use that then.
Is it that one there? Yep. That's
yes,
it,
that's
isn't
the
it?
one.
Yes.
That's the one. I've stuck it on my packaging.
Yeah, dandelion grass.
Around,
That's like your
so.
one day special.
So we can
Like
add.
a super sleuth's job here.
Yeah,
trying to find
it is,
out
isn't
which
it?
one they're all from.
So remember, because we're bringing in our fussy cut one, we can actually go over her a little bit with the foliage, and that's not going to look odd at all. That's going to look absolutely fine. Let's just anchor that as well. So we'll use a little bit of green there. So let's bring in a rainforest, which is a nice bright green. We've also got the Whimsical flower cluster back as well. That's a really good foliage stamp to use.
What was that one?
Whimsical flower cluster. It's one of the repeat ones.
Right. Whimsical flower.
It's in that second one with the
Whimsical
fairy
flower.
condo.
Oh, is this the I see.
Yeah.
I think it's in that one there.
Yeah, it's with the fairy condo.
Yes, the little fairy condo. Ooh. That's been very busy actually, and lots of people have found that already actually. Blimey, 80% of the stock of that has gone, actually. $15.99 if you want to go for the Condo stamp collection. That's a really nice one. It is a repeat one that is back in for you. But that's really lovely. That's a gorgeous one with the the fairy condo that you're going to get in there. Always believe something wonderful is about to happen that you mentioned earlier on. Of course, we've got the condo dwellers that are there, which you mentioned earlier on, which they're great to have for your collection. And of course, you've got the whimsical flowers in there. So look at that, $15.99 on those.
That's a great price.
584. That is an amazing price, isn't it?
So we are going to use the whimsical flower clusters, I think, as well. So I'm just this is such a useful stamp. So you can just bring that in to add some foliage down the bottom.
They have gone limited stock, by the way. They've been really busy for those, actually.
Oh, well done, everybody.
Yeah, well done indeed.
So we can just add, and we can add a little bit...
Doing a better job than me trying to find out where all these are on the shows.
So we just add a little bit down at the bottom of the snail here as well, and then we'll be done. Just one, that'll do, actually. So, like I say, I would add a little bit of colour. And then I would pop it in my journal. So I'll show you, because I'm using the Pink Pig. I noticed the Pink Pig journals are on TV tomorrow, on here tomorrow with Leonie. I don't know if there's any black ones. I'm going to check with Leonie because I need some more. But once you mat it onto the black. Oh, yes. That's really nice. It's a really nice scene, isn't it? And then, of course, we're going to stick this on here. How many minutes have I got? And I haven't got enough time, really. So that's going to be stuck on there.
Pop it even more.
To make it pop even more.
Yeah, no, that's great, that. Lovely. Lovely. Thank you for that, Jill. That's absolutely brilliant. They are, you can't help but lose yourself in these because the characters, because I think there's so much imagination in actually creating the images in the first place, it makes it a very easy job for any crafter to then take that and then go, wow, because they're so magical. We've got a library that's in a snail that's being delivered. You know, we've got a house that is there on a bank of books, for example. It's very easy for you then to carry that story on in your own way.
It's just the joy of using them and losing yourself in using them. And honestly, that I just have, every time they bring out a collection, I have so much fun. I thoroughly enjoy using them.
I can't wait. We're back together again at 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock, yes.
And we're going to carry on this fairy tale as well. I will tell you, though, just so you know, because a lot then still happens in between the shows, we're already at 60% of the stock already allocated on the one-day special. So if you are thinking about this, please don't let me come back in the 8 o'clock show and it's gone limited or whatever. I don't know what could happen, but if you haven't got it in your collection by then in your basket, checked in and checked out, I just don't want you to miss out on this one. So maybe the time to try and do this now, before you get to brew for the rest of the evening, will be a good way. And everything else, have a good look on the website. I mean, I've forgotten about some of the others that are on there, but they will all fit together. Julia, thank you for your demonstration and your company this hour.
Thank you. Had lots of fun.
I look forward to 8 o'clock with yourself, which would be great. And look forward to being with you as well. But don't go anywhere because we've got Lottie and Janice coming up the other side of this.